Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here in Miami at the Ensemble Travel Conference. It's the very first Ensemble Travel Conference in person, also since it was acquired by Navigator. And I'm here with Nadia Makarenko, who is the Senior Vice President of Travel Edge Network. Now, what's Travel Edge Network? Many of you know it already because it is a large agency group that has been out there, and they are also owned by Navigator, and now it's also part of Ensemble. So we're going to talk to Nadia about Travel Edge Network and what it offers, and also a little bit about the deal and the impact of that on Travel Edge here on Insider Travel Report. Nadia, first of all, nice to meet you. I had not met you before, but I hear a lot about you and a lot about Travel Edge. We've been talking about Travel Edge for a few years now. I used to talk to Jeff Wilner, your owner, a number of times in the last 10 years and talked about Travel Edge. But let's talk about a little bit about Travel Edge Network. When was it founded, where, and how many travel advisors are now affiliated with it?
Thank you. That's a good question. Yes, Travel Edge Network was based on acquisition, and it was quite a journey. So we started our first acquisition in 2011.
Okay.
And the first agency that Navigator Group acquired at that time was Sea Travel in Bermuda.
Oh, that's
it's very exciting, and we still have an office there with 30 plus agents, and it's growing business. So anytime you're in Bermuda, we are welcome to visit them as well. And then, we finished in 2015 with a few other agencies. So there was 2012, 2013, 2015. One of the biggest one is Worldview Travel. You probably heard about it, right? So with that, for the last few years, we switched our focus on advisors, growing our network.
Individual
advisors. That's being said, I don't think many people know that we also work with affiliates. So as of today, we have 425 independent consultants, and then it's another 110 affiliates with their agency. So overall, we're talking about 800 ICs.
Yeah, so that's a pretty significant number, absolutely. So you're a very large host agency, effectively,
yes,
right?
That is correct, yes.
Now, let's talk. Earlier this year, obviously, Travel Edge joined Ensemble, which was not a surprise to me because I thought that's, after Navigator acquired Ensemble, it was sort of it was going to happen that Travel Edge would be part of it. What's going to be the impact of Travel Edge now being part of Ensemble?
I see only positive impact for our members, for our advisors. We always come and look what's important for our advisors. So when Ensemble Group approached us and invited us to be their members, we sit down and just look at what's the benefits going forward, right? So what we see is, actually Michael described it perfectly yesterday, it's and. Because Travel Edge Network is a well-established host agency. We have lots of different programs for our advisors, but in addition to what we have, there is more product, there is more opportunities for training and marketing, there is more opportunities when it comes to the events, to the community. So it's a perfect synergy, what we already have as a Travel Edge Network, plus what Ensemble will offer to their members.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you have the much vaunted ADX technology, and we hear about that a lot. And that's what now is being offered to Ensemble agency members. But you've had it for a while, right?
We had it from the very beginning. And ADX, I try to do competitive analysis pretty much every year, and I can tell you for sure that there's nothing else like that in EDX. And why is it so important for advisors? It's not just an easy tool to use, but it's also efficient. I started my career as an advisor myself, and what is important when you talk to the client, it's the efficiency and being flexible and send them information as soon as possible. Right. That's what ADX gives you to our advisors. Plus, you don't need to learn Sabre. Sabre is like a language. It's a complicated language.
Yeah, well, that was days from the green screen days when you had to know a GDS, right?
So when I talk to my son in Sabre, he's like, what's Sabre? I don't even understand that. ADX, I can teach anybody from my advisors, and it takes about just a month, and they can sell air, they can sell insurance, they can sell all the product. Plus, also there is a capability to give markup. We're all in the business to make money, right? We're customer service. We make sure that we provide their client service, customer service, but also we're in the business to make money. And that's what ADX gives. It's all of it. It's the product, it's flexibility, and also extra revenue for our advisors.
No, and that is, I mean, and people are talking about, to remember to sell air, to sell hotel with, let's say, to your clients who are booking a cruise or something like that, so you get that extra income, right?
Correct, yes. Because again, if I'm a client, especially right now, and I would love to include as much as possible, for the advisor, it doesn't make sense to book just air and say, and please go to somebody else and book cruise, right? Why would you do that? Again, with the ADX, all product is there, and if there's some information that we need to provide in training, we also have it for our advisors.
Well, no, it's interesting because originally, you guys were part of Virtuoso Travel Edge, and you left, and then, I know Jeff said he's going to create another consortium, and then surprise, surprise, he bought Ensemble. So you kind of had a ready-made, and you could join Ensemble, which, quite frankly, had a lot of things. It had been losing some agencies over time, and didn't really have some of the technology and some of the marketing. They did a great job. They're one of the oldest consortiums, actually, but you brought to the table with Navigator and with Travel Edge the technology and now the marketing, right?
That is correct, yes. So we are the biggest member of the Ensemble as of today. And, I'm very excited to meet other members and tell them so much about ADX, right? In other words, a Navigator Group is actually bringing them. So in terms of what we've done for the last year after we left Virtuoso, which was a very good partnership, but we took this time and really invested to build support and new programs for our advisors in-house. So as of today, it's a beautiful synergy. We have our own technology, we have our own programs, plus Ensemble, what they're bringing.
And they came with preferred supplier relationships that a lot you had, but some you might not have had. So that's
absolutely. As you know from the industry, we all know, like, for example, cruise programs, sometimes you need consortium level. So that's what gave us with the Ensemble, right?
Yeah, and you'll have it big. And it was a cooperative. Now it's a consortia owned wholly by Navigator. And you still have a lot of great agencies and a lot of great partners involved. Now, when you're talking to a potential affiliate, a potential independent contractor, what are your main selling points for Travel Edge? I mean, obviously ADX is a big one, but tell me some of the other ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, the biggest trend that we've been observing for the last 12 months is new to the business.
Oh, so you are looking for new to the business too?
Oh, absolutely. What we did for the last 6 months, we really focused on the training program. And the training program being not just, talking to our managers, but it's actually LMS, Learning Management System. So today we have specialist program where you can learn how to build your website, as an example. What does it mean from the customer service perspective? How you build the itinerary, how you charge service fees, and also the product. In a perfect example, cruise is a very complicated product, right? So we spend time, about a month, where we give all the modules to our advisors, and then we set one-on-one with our director of cruise, plus there is boot camps. And what we also launch is a 90 days guaranteed member support for our new to the business, because we're saying if you take all those steps that I just described, you will be set for success as a new to the business advisor.
Yeah, and I remember talking to people about this before. I had a few friends who wanted to become travel advisors, and they were very impressed with the program. I don't know if they ended up doing it, but I always said, if you want to kind of go in, learn all about being a travel advisor and get going right away, you're one of the best places for that, right?
I think we are. To be honest with you, because again, I took those modules myself. I was involved in building those from the client perspective, but also from the advisors, and I can guarantee they're very practical. The request was for the team to make them very, very practical. Once I finish the training, I should be able to sell, and I should be able to service my clients to the standards from Travel Edge Network.
No, that's great. And of course, you have all these wonderful products, a very easy system to learn on how to book them. As you said, you don't have to worry about the GDS anymore. You do ADX, and you can get all these little add-ons and really, boost your income tremendously. And I think your fellow now Ensemble members are going to find that out as well, right?
Yes, again, I'm very excited to share all what we have from Travel Edge with other members and learn from them. It's a great synergy. I met some of the owners here, it's lots of knowledge to be shared within Ensemble Group.
Now, what's the future hold for Travel Edge Network? I mean, you said, how many advisors do you have?
For 120 plus affiliates.
Are you looking to grow that number a lot or a little, or are you really going to be very selective? I don't know.
Well, there's two programs. There is New to the Business, right? So we're making sure that we work with them. And today it's about 10, 15 advisors per month that we're onboarding. And there's a program which is still supporting our experienced advisors. So the focus will be always on growth. But what is critical for us is that, yes, we're a big company, but the community sense, being, connected to each other, that's our main focus for the next 12 months as well. Because sometimes I talk to the advisors and they say, I feel like a number, being part of the members. That is not us. Yes, technology is important. Absolutely, training is important. But as a community and being there, and that's why we have a new role for one of my VPs, Michelle Leal, who is VP of Member Engagement.
Okay.
And her mandate, making sure that we're all connected, we know names of our advisors, we celebrate whatever is happening in their lives, and we also celebrate our success together.
So you can create a real community of travel advisors who in turn can create a community of clients as well, right?
That is absolutely right. Travel is all about communication. It's all about being together. We're all human beings, and that's very important for us.
Now, where can travel advisors go to find out more about the Travel Edge Network and see if they're a good fit?
We do have a website, so traveledgenetwork.com.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
traveledgenetwork.com.
Okay, please. So if you're an existing travel advisor and you're looking for another home for your business, this is obviously a great option. And if you're out there and you're a consumer, although we don't go to consumers, so I don't know, sometimes we're on YouTube, so maybe they'll find you that way. If you're interested in becoming a travel advisor, this might be a great way to go. There are a lot of great agencies out there, but I've known Travel Edge for a while. I've known the owners and everyone else, and now with this new acquisition of Ensemble, the develop and really kind of perfection, although I guess you can always perfect it more with ADX, it's really a very simple system, and now they can onboard you fairly quickly, correct?
Yes, we are, and we welcome everybody. Again, whether you're new to the business or experienced, there is always something for each of you.
Well, Nadia, thank you for taking the time. I know it's been a busy conference here. It's the first one back for a lot of us, and a lot of people came down here wondering, what's it going to be like? Who are these Travel Edge and Navigator people that have come in, who have turned, this is one, obviously Ensemble was one of the oldest consortium in the business, used to be called Giants, which was an acronym for something that I've forgotten about, Greater Independent New York something or other, which I should know better than that. And now they were wondering, what's going to be like now, and I think they're finding out that there are really some great benefits to be found, in addition to the fact that they have a host agency in their midst which has been using it for all this time, correct?
That is absolutely correct. Yes, we've been using it for the whole time, and again, as you mentioned, what we discovered here, we were happy already to join Ensemble, but what they presented yesterday and the roadmap, it looks a new brand. It looks so much invested, and it's completely aligns with our strategy and what we need for our advisors, anybody who would like to join.
They actually did introduce a new brand, a new logo, a new look,
yes.
Which is the first I've seen in a long time, since actually it was renamed Ensemble back in the early 2000s. So all things good. Nadia, again, thank you so much, and hope to see you later in the conference.
Thank you so much. Looking forward, and also looking forward to see everybody else on our next conference.
I'm James Schillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.